Will Clark the batter. The Giants have not had the lead in these two games. A 3-2 count, a split finger fastball by Mike Moore, pounced on by Terry Steinbach, the Oakland catcher. But look at the tough throw that he had to complete the play with Brett Butler running between him and Clark. Flash forward to the bottom of the fourth inning. Dave Parker barely by inches just misses a home run. Candy Maldonado with the hesitation, allowing Jose Canseco to score, and he fails to get Dave Parker at second base. So the Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an
WKGF presents The Witching Hour with Max Thorn.
Hey everyone, I'm Max Thorn and this is The Witching Hour. And tonight we're starting the show with news I'm sure you've heard about, no matter where you're listening. If you recall, on September 1st of this year, we had a young female who called herself Carrie White call the show and tell us a story about how she supposedly bounced forward a year in time and found out that during the time she skipped, had murdered one of her best friends. The story only got wilder from there on, including deals with Death himself and a chance at a redo, this time with her not getting caught for the murder. It sounds like insanity, right? Well, I sure thought so. Carrie didn't have much in the way of proof, nor did she beg me to believe her, but she knew I was a baseball fan and told me to tune in to the World Series this year, specifically the game on October 17th. She said something big would happen. She called it an act of God, something that would be impossible to stop and impossible to predict. Then maybe I would believe her. So I took her prediction with a grain of salt, marked it on my calendar, and forgot all about it. Until last Tuesday, when tragedy struck. October 17th, 1989. A day we'll never forget. It started as just another game. The Battle of the Bay, Oakland A's versus the San Francisco Giants. Candlestick Park, packed with fans. Excitement, tension, all eyes on the field. The kind of night baseball dreams are made of. I had a bowl of popcorn on my lap. My legs were kicked up in my recliner, ready for Game 3 to begin. And then the ground moved. Not a tremor, not a shake. A force. A violent, relentless force tearing through the Bay Area. The announcers barely got out that there was an earthquake happening before everything went to static and a bland and boring World Series logo was plastered across the screen. News stations were confused, unsure of the damage, unsure if the game was even continuing to be played. They put on reruns of Roseanne and The Wonder Years, but kept interrupting for more updates. At 5:04 p.m. on October 17th, a 6.9 magnitude earthquake roaring from the San Andreas Fault cut through cities like a machete. Buildings collapsed, fires erupted. The Bay Bridge just gave way. Part of it just dropped, taking cars with it. The Marina District was devastated. The freeway was flattened like a house of cards. People were trapped. People were lost. And the only reason the death toll wasn't worse? The World Series game. That very game. Thousands of people should have been driving home from work at that hour, but they weren't. They were at Candlestick. They were watching, and they were waiting. And in some strange twist of fate that may have saved their lives. So, this isn't a news show. This is the Witching Hour. So we need to focus on how did Carrie know this would happen? I am way beyond even entertaining the possibility that this is all some big coincidence. Nope. No way. No how, man. No. She saw this. She knew. That's why she didn't care if I believed her when she called, because she knew I would believe her now. And I do. Oh boy, do I. And with that belief, I guess now I also believe in time travel. So let's talk about that for a minute, I guess. Most people think of it as like something out of science fiction, like DeLoreans or blue police boxes or strange machines spinning in dimly lit labs. But What if I told you that time doesn't work the way we think it does? Physics, real, honest-to-goodness physics, suggests time isn't as rigid as we perceive it. That the past, the present, and the future might be layers stacked on top of one another. And sometimes something slips through. Is it similar to Eric finding his sister on that old radio from last week? Maybe. Maybe not. It's impossible to say. I'm just a radio show host, man. What do I know about time travel? I wish there were solid answers, but there isn't. Every movie on time travel usually have plot holes so big you can drive a truck through them, and they're ignored for the sake of entertainment. But what happens in real life when there is no plot? None of it makes any sense. Like, it's not like she was sent to the future to warn us about impending doom, because she didn't tell us anything except that something would happen. That could be anything. I mean, she was nice enough to say during the World Series, I guess, but that could just be a time frame. I don't know, guys. This one has really been messing with me here. I'm not sure what to think. Now, okay. I don't know if you're out there, Carrie White. I don't know if you're listening, but if you are, I believe you. And I want to know more, because if this is all true, then that means you're going to attempt a murder again, and I need you to reconsider. We have your voice recorded. We can find out if there was a girl killed at a Halloween party. We have your voice. You do not have to do this. I understand me saying that has no regard on your life, especially after what you've been through. But I have to throw that out there. If you need to talk it through some more, please call me back. I believe you, and I will do everything in my power to help you. Okay, I don't know. Ricky, what do you think about all this?
Oh, I have no idea. I believed her from the start, though. Usually stories like that are complete bull, but I don't know. Something about hers felt like either it was the truth or it was a fantasy that she completely believed, because I know she wasn't lying to me. I never thought it would end up like this, though. I thought maybe Ricky Henderson would trip or something, or Jose Canseco would break a nail and cry about it. I didn't figure on all this.
Yeah. Okay, but I do have a show to do. This is the Witching Hour. This is not NBC Nightly News. So I will carry on. I will do my best to put these events behind us, and we can do the show. So, obviously, I'm not ashamed to admit that one of my favorite places on the planet is the arcade. Jimmy's Arcade, to be specific, right here in Bakersfield. If you show up there on any weeknight after my Rock Block show, chances are you'll run into me and probably my old man and some friends going head to head. Arcades aren't just places to waste a few quarters. They are neon-lit, fun coliseums where people of all ages can come together with one common goal: to beat the living daylights out of their opponent, whether it's another person or a computer. It's where you go to see and be seen. The noises are deafening, the food smells hypnotic, and there's no other place like it in the world. When you step through the doors of an arcade, you're stepping into another world, a dreamland fantasy filled with nothing but fun and games. In the Pacific Northwest, at the Power Up Arcade, one particular game started to stand out from the rest. It wasn't just there for carefree fun. It was rumored to do something much scarier. Crystal Phillips, age 17, didn't take the rumor seriously until the game showed her something she couldn't ignore. Now, the question is, was it a twisted coincidence, or was the game really more than it seemed? I took a flight up to Oregon last weekend after receiving several messages from listeners the night of the Power Up's annual Halloween-themed pinball tournament. Here is what I discovered. The Power Up Arcade in the appropriately named Arcadium, Oregon, is the kind of place where fun and excitement crash into the perfect hurricane of enjoyment. Rows of blinking machines, the endless clink of tokens, the smell of pizza in the air, the carpet sticky from cherry coke spills, and God knows what else. Rows upon rows of popular games crowd this neon-lit dreamscape. From Pac-Man to Kung Fu, Double Dragon to Dragon's Lair, the Power-Up has them all. But among these crowd favorites, one machine stands apart. Once hidden in the corner, Hangman's Alley has built a reputation not for fun, but fear. I spoke with some of the arcade's regulars to find out more about the rumors surrounding this game.
Yeah, everyone knows about Hangman's Alley. It's supposed to show you where you're gonna die if you make it to the last level. And the high score you get, that's the day it's gonna happen. It's like cursed or something.
I heard the levels change sometimes. Like it knows where you are, or where you live, or whatever. My cousin swore she saw our school in it once, but I didn't believe her. But then I saw it with my own 2 eyes. It didn't last long, maybe just a few seconds, but it was there. Crystal and I live on the same street, and I swear on everything that the game switched from the Old West to our street. I don't think Crystal noticed. In fact, it took me a few seconds for it to even register, you know? But I'm convinced that the game is bad news. It did this. I'm positive of it.
Crystal Phillips wasn't afraid of the rumors. In fact, she was inspired by them. Friends say she was determined to beat the game, to prove that high score rumor was true or a big load of dookie. Her words, not mine. She told friends she would love the game to tell her the exact date of her death. She said it would be liberating, even if most people thought she was just fooling around. But something happened that rainy fall day, something that left witnesses shaken, and something we simply cannot ignore. Armed with a fanny pack full of tokens, Crystal Phillips and her best friend Doris Marvin hit the Power-Up.
It was all Crystal had been talking about the whole week. Usually she's consumed with Halloween, but not this year. All she could talk about was the Hangman's Alley and how she was going to be the first person at school to beat it. I didn't think anything of it because I really didn't care about that game, but she was really into it.
It was the last year of their high school lives. The following year would bring college for some, jobs for others, and not only was school coming to an end, so was the decade. Who knows what the 90s will bring? Every year around Halloween, the local arcade here in Arcadium, Oregon, the Power-Up, has a pinball tournament. And every year, the building is packed with kids and adults ready to get in on the fun. This is Kelsey Roberts.
The Halloween pinball tournament is like one of the most popular events of the year. Like, we all look forward to it every year. And it's not even about the pinball, you know? It's more about just being out all night, all in the same location, and having a blast. I used to look forward to it, like, all year, you know?
Can you tell me anything about Hangman's Alley?
I probably couldn't tell you anything that the other kids haven't already told you. Like, it showed up here during Easter vacation, and it didn't take long for the rumors to start circulating, you know? I didn't really believe it because it all sounds so silly, you know, but I believe it now. Yeah, I believe it now.
Crystal and Doris were doing that age-old thing where Crystal told her parents she was at Doris's house for an all-night scary movie marathon, and Doris told her parents that she was at Crystal's for an all-night scary movie marathon, when in reality, they'd be at the Power-Up with no curfew. The weather was stormy, the rain pouring down, when the two girls met at the local Happy Steak for a quick bite before walking across the parking lot to the Power-Up. Crystal was determined to tempt fate and do something only a handful of Power-Up customers have done: beat the Hangman's Alley and see the day they will die. Maybe.
All right, Dory, tonight's the night. I'm gonna beat this thing.
Dude, seriously?
I know, but come on. On the 1% chance it's true, wouldn't you want to know?
Wouldn't I want to know when and where I die? No, not even a little bit.
Come on, Dora, it would be so liberating. Imagine if the date was like 75 years in the future. You could live your whole life with no fear.
You'd have to be pretty committed to the rumor to live your whole life without fear based on a video game. What if you think you're safe and you do something stupid like jump out of an airplane, and it turns out the game was completely wrong?
I mean, I won't do anything stupid, but I don't know. Don't be a buzzkill. Even if it's totally not true, then we'll be able to finally put the rumor to bed and make fun of everybody who believed in it. Come on, it'll be fun.
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna stop you from playing. I'll even cheer you on.
Crystal always had this fire in her. She wasn't scared of anything, or at least she didn't let it show. I didn't really want to tempt fate, but there was nothing I could do. I know it sounds silly, but I can't help it. She was going to play that game no matter what, so I did what I said I would do. I cheered her on.
Settle up.
You're going down, partner. Let's see what you got. I've got to admit, I've never seen Crystal so focused.
Try and catch me.
She dodged traps, looked down armed thugs, stopped the train robbery, and navigated the eerie ghost town alleys with ease. The whole time, the hangman's voice taunted her.
You'll never catch me. Is that the best you've got? Crystal?
Did you hear that? Did he just say my name?
I mean, it sounded like it, but probably not.
I said probably not, but it definitely did. And if I had my way, I would have hightailed it out of power-up and never returned. But I chickened out. I stayed. At first, the levels seemed normal. Dark alleys, dusty old saloons. Then something really stood out to me. As Crystal's gunslinger was making its way across the town, I swear the background changed from Old West to modern. A little too modern. In fact, I could have sworn it was Crystal Street. She didn't seem to notice. She was too busy shooting, but it was there. It's gone now, but it was there. I wanted to pull the plug on the game. I had seen enough. Maybe it was all fake, but I didn't want to find out. I could go the rest of my life without knowing. Holy crap, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. We should go.
Go? I just beat the level boss, didn't you see? I didn't see. I may have been staring directly at the screen, but I didn't see. Seeing that video game version of Crystal Street had sent a chill down my spine, and I wanted nothing more than to leave. But Crystal kept playing. A crowd had gathered. She loved the attention. The screen went black. For a second I thought the game had fried itself. I prayed it did. But then the final level appeared. There was nothing Western about the setting. No saloons, no dark alleys, no tumbleweeds you have to jump over. No, the final level was outside power-up. Exactly as it looked right now. Neon sign buzzing, rain pooling in the parking lot, and there, pixelated on the screen, were two figures standing just inside the doorway, playing a video game. It was us.
There was no final boss, no last battle with the hangman. The final level was just outside the main doors of the power-up. Then, our final score began flashing on the screen. 101,489, or 10/14/89, October 14th, 1989. Today.
That's not possible. This is just a stupid game. Crystal let go of the joystick like it was red hot. She took 2 steps back and just stared at the screen. The crowd was riled up, but I couldn't hear them at all. There was a ringing in my ears, and I felt like I was going to black out. The game started laughing at us. I swear it was laughing at us then.
Game over, Crystal.
It completely shut off. We ran outside. The rain hit my face like ice, but it felt safer out there than inside with that thing. Crystal was pacing, muttering to herself.
It's fake. It's fake. It has to be fake. It doesn't know anything, stupid game. This is so dumb. That's probably just how the rumor got started. The final level is just some random arcade with people inside to get people to think it's them, and then we fell for it.
I didn't tell her about staying her street. I just wanted to get home as soon as possible. Late night movie night was sounding better and better. We step off the curb, headed toward Crystal's car. That's when I see it. Headlights. Too close and moving too fast.
Crystal, watch out!
Late last Saturday night, 17-year-old Crystal Phillips was struck and killed outside of the Power Up arcade in what authorities are calling a tragic accident. But was this just some random unlucky accident? Or was it more?
Crystal started panicking, saying that's not possible, it's just a stupid game. The crowd that was gathered around went silent, like we never seen such a thing. It was honestly insane, you know? If that was the end of it, then it could have been explained rationally. You know, like, of course the game has a date programmed into it, right? Like, it's just a stupid joke. But it wasn't a joke.
Then what happened?
Crystal stepped out in the street. It was pouring rain. And she wasn't paying attention. She was too busy looking back at the arcade, yelling. And she stepped right in front of a car. Like, she didn't stand a chance. She got pulled under the wheel, and that was that. I saw the whole thing. I've never seen anything so awful before in my life.
I was at the snack counter when I heard her. Crystal was yelling at the screen like it was alive. She was freaking out, saying stuff like, "That's us! It's showing us!" And then the game just turned off. She ran out with her friend Doris. I followed to see what was going on. I wish I hadn't.
Bam! I saw the whole thing. And there is nothing on this planet that could convince me that it wasn't that game. I saw the score myself. It was yesterday's date. Then 5 minutes later, she's dead. Nope. No way. That game is cursed. And if it isn't, then it's some sort of fortune teller, and either way, I want no part of it.
I spoke to the owner of the Power Up, Bob Hansen, who said the game arrived in April, but he doesn't recall ordering it.
I just stuck it in the back corner and forgot all about it for a couple of weeks. But then it started getting really popular. When I would empty out the tokens, the box was always full. That's when I started paying more attention to it and hearing all the rumors. I thought they were pretty fun and decided to capitalize on it. So I moved the game from the back corner up to the front corner, right by the window. It was a money-making machine, I'll give it that much. But if I'd have known what was going to happen, I would have taken a sledgehammer to it, though. My heart is just broken.
Where's the game now? I want to check it out, but noticed it was missing.
You're not going to believe me, but it fried itself. Won't turn on. Which is fine. I don't want it in my arcade anyway. It's in the back for now.
Bob took me to the back room of the arcade where Hangman's Alley was currently residing. Nothing suspicious looking about the game. It looked totally ordinary. The cabinet had a gunslinger on one side and the evil hanged man on the other. Bob was right, though. It would not turn on. On closer inspection, I discovered the game was manufactured by Cosmic Rift Games, a company I have never heard of, and a company I could find zero information about. I felt that I had hit a dead end, at least for now. My last stop was to try to speak with Crystal's best friend, Doris Marvin. She had this to say.
She just wanted to play that stupid game. She said it would be liberating to know when you would die. I thought she was joking, but I saw something in that game. I saw it with my own eyes, and I know what happened. Maybe things would be different if we stayed home and watched movies, but maybe not. I don't know. All I know is that my best friend is gone, and it's all this game's fault.
I decided to stop the interview there. Doris Marvin has been through enough, so that is where this story will end for us. Hopefully this can allow Crystal's family and friends to grieve, and all of us as well. The sheriff's department is treating Crystal Phillips' death as a tragic accident, and until we can come up with something concrete to prove otherwise, I'm afraid that's how it'll remain. In the meantime, I will continue looking into Cosmic Rift games and see what I can find. I will never be able to let this story go. That was from last weekend in Oregon. I've done some digging on Cosmic Rift, but have come up empty. I'm meeting with the owner of Jimmy's Arcade here in Bakersfield after Halloween, whose name, surprisingly, is not Jimmy, to see if he has any information or to see if he can order the game for me to investigate. If anyone up there in Oregon knew Crystal Phillips, or you'd like to share some loving stories of her, give us a call. We're always here to listen and help however we can. Now, I hate to make you all feel even worse, but I have no choice. We have to go to a commercial break. But I promise it'll be short, and we'll be right back.
Do you feel lonely tonight?
Looking to meet new friends to talk with?
Call 1-900-909-2222 and listen.
As the man or woman that you desire, introduce and describe themselves.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm 6'1", dark hair, blue eyes.
With selective introductions, you make the choice, or leave your own introduction and receive calls from those interested in you.
Meet a new friend. You make the choice.
Call 1-900-909-2222. $2 for the first minute, 35 cents for the additional minute.
As you know, I'm not only the heckler president, I'm also a client. If your hair is thinning like mine was, call now for your free video.
The first thing my wife said when she saw it, that I looked 10 years younger. That was the first words out of her mouth. Not hello, not hi.
I feel good about myself when I get up in the morning. It's easy to maintain and manage.
In our free video, you'll see our clients up close and natural. Their new hair responding under any condition just like their own. Hair Club for Men has improved not only their looks, but also their lives.
If you're pressed for time, you're 15 minutes late, you gotta catch up. Jump out of the shower, towel dry the hair, fix it with your fingers, and get going.
It feels like it's been there all the time. That's how natural it feels. Even at the touch. You know, when I wash it in the shower, I don't feel anything, just hair. Lovely hair.
So call now for your free video on Hair Club developments and dealing with thinning hair. To help our clients, see how this free video can help you too.
We now return to The Witching Hour with Max Thorn.
Man, all right, that commercial break was a little rough, guys. I apologize for that. I don't know who they think our listener base is, but I don't know. I'm not here to judge. Anyway, we are back. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial break. I know they're painful. Nobody knows how painful they are more than me. Man, Ricky is practically pulling his hair out in the booth right now. I don't know what's going on. Well, Ricky, what have you got for us, dude?
You have to take Chloe on line 2. She's got a story you need to hear.
All right, let's go to Chloe on line 3. Chloe, you are on the air with Max Thorn and The Witching Hour.
Hi, Max. Thanks for taking my call. It was my sister that actually convinced me to call. She's a new fan, and she heard last week's episode and just about had a heart attack.
Good to hear that she's a new fan. Bad to hear about the almost having a heart attack thing. So what do you got for us, Chloe?
I'm going to do my best to get through the whole story, but no promises, all right?
No, I won't interrupt at all. Let's hear it.
So this happened last summer, June 5th. 1988. I'll never forget that date. My best friend and I were really into going for walks in places we'd never been. You know, we'd go on whatever days we had off and drive around for a while and just find a new spot for an adventure. We were driving up through the woods in Vermont and found a little spot and we parked. I remember Anna telling me to remember where we parked, and so I used my foot to draw an A in the dirt. I told her we were parked in Lot A. It was funnier at the time. So we found a nice little trail and we took off. We'd been walking for about an hour when something caught my eye way off in the distance, across the river, right? It was a person. A man, a large man, which wouldn't have meant anything to me, but his face looked strange, like he was wearing a helmet or something. Even from that far away, it just looked creepy. Anna kept walking for a few more steps and asked what was wrong, and I just pointed, and then this man, he bent down and grabbed something lying on the ground. It was a body.
What?
The guy was dragging a body.
Oh my God.
We just stood there completely stunned. And then the body's arm twitched like this awful jerky punch, and the man dropped her and stomped like on the body's face. I saw it with my own two eyes. This guy just murdered someone in front of us. We were too far to hear anything. It was like watching a horror movie on mute. We were stunned. I mean, we just had our hands clasped over our mouths trying not to scream, and that proved to be a mistake. We were both wearing watches, and when we covered our mouths, the sunlight hit them and flashed a nice big light for the guy.
Oh my God, did he see you?
Yeah, he saw all right. He turned and looked right at us, and I didn't know what to do, so Anna basically tackled me to the ground, hiding us behind a bush. And so we're, freaking out, whispering about, oh, we have to get out of here. And I kept asking if it had seen us, but we both knew the answer. Anna peeked around the bush, and the guy was gone.
Oh, no.
We got up slowly and looked around a bit, and the coast was clear, at least it looked like it was. But there was another problem. Anna asked if I remembered where we parked, and I had no idea. I'm sure if we weren't panicked, we could have easily found our way back, but we weren't thinking right. All I could say was Lot A, and it made Anna smile for a second. We had to double back, hoping to remember the turns that we made. We tried to stay low, stay hidden, I kept asking Anna if she saw anything. She kept saying no. I know I was probably annoying as hell, but when I get nervous, I talk, right? So Anna said that we'd been walking for about an hour, so we still had a ways to go before we got to the car. I suggested we jog, right? The longer we're out in the open, the more danger we're in, and the sooner we get to the car, the sooner we can get out of here. And we each took a drink from our water bottles and left them behind. We didn't, need anything that could make noise or weigh us down. And then we took off, jogging at first, and then just full-on sprinting.
Yeah.
Time went by. The sun started to set, and it was getting dark fast. We finally stopped running, totally out of breath. It was almost pitch black. Anna looked around. You could tell she was thinking that we had messed up badly. We should have just gotten back to the car long before dark, but we were lost.
Oh, no.
Anna was convinced we were close. The car had to be near. She told me to follow her, so I did. She veered off the trail into the trees. It was getting darker and darker, and after a bit, she got her keys out and started hitting the car alarm. She had that new Viper system with the remote control thingy, right?
Oh, nice.
So if the alarm went off, we'd know where the car was.
Good.
And my only thought was, so would he. She kept hitting the alarm button, and we kept walking, listening, until finally we heard it, the car alarm. I was so relieved, and Anna was all, see, told you I remembered, and we changed direction a little bit, and we kept going. And sure enough, we found it. The alarm was wailing, the lights were blinking. We couldn't have made more noise if we tried, but we found it.
Good.
We just stood there for a second, looking around. Anna killed the alarm, and we waited to see if anyone was there. We didn't wait long, though. We couldn't. So we ran to the car, adrenaline pumping. We yanked open the doors and jumped in and locked them. We made it. I told Anna just to get us out of there, and she put the key in the ignition, and nothing.
Whew.
It just hissed and whirred, the gas light flashing bright orange. taunting us.
You ran out of gas?
No, that's the thing. We're not idiots. We just filled up on our way there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh's right. Anna tried to be rational, but she couldn't come up with any good reason why our gas had been drained. She said there were a million places that guy could have gone. What are the odds that he'd find our car in the dark? And he was wearing a helmet that covered his face, so it's not like we could identify him, but that just made me think, why was he wearing a helmet that covered his face? I didn't want to know. I felt like we were going to die. Anna tried again to convince us that it was, unlikely that he was even looking for us. He probably just wanted to get away. That wearing a helmet or a mask or whatever meant if someone saw him, they couldn't ID him. He wouldn't waste time looking for two girls who weren't a threat. I mean, I guess that made a little sense, but it didn't make me feel better.
Ooh, okay. Then what happened?
Anna said that we could just wait it out in the car if we'd be safe. In the morning, we could follow the road and find a payphone or another hiker or even walk back to town if we had to. I told her I didn't like the thought of staying there all night, and she countered with, well, do you want to start walking back to town right now in the dark? Well, yeah, that convinced me to stay. So she promised we'd be safe. And I asked, well, what if she's wrong? And she said she'd buy me a Coke. It was our first laugh in probably over 2 hours. And more time passed. It got completely dark. We sat sideways in our seats trying to stay aware of everything. We just started, telling dumb stories, just trying to lighten the mood. And I was in the middle of telling some stupid story with my back to the door when all of a sudden, bam! Something slammed into the front of the car. It was a huge thump, and we just about died, right? And I remember yelling, what the hell was that? And I didn't have time to get an answer because a man popped up at my window and started banging on it. His hands were bloodied, and the blood was smearing on the window, and he was telling us to let him in. And we were just screaming, totally frantic, and he kept yelling to open the door, open the door.
Oh my God.
And then his voice changed. It got calmer, but somehow even more terrifying. He pleaded with us to open the door, saying he didn't have much time. And Anna said, we didn't see anything, we swore. And I just kept yelling at him for him to leave us alone. He took a step back from the window, breathing heavily. And he saw the blood covering his hands and our window. And he said, oh, it's his blood. And I kept telling him just to leave us alone. And then he was yelling again, begging us to let him in and saying, he's coming. So I reached into my bag and pulled out this taser gun that my dad gave me a few years back. I don't think it's exactly legal, but Dad said he didn't care. He just wanted me to keep it with me. It kind of looked like a real gun in the dark, so I just held it up, hoping to scare the guy off, right? Silence. All we could hear was heavy breathing, and he just stood there for a few seconds, staring at us. And then he tried the back door. The click of the handle sounded so loud, and we both screamed again. And he started talking. His voice just sounded so desperate. He said we had to let him in. He wasn't going to hurt us. He said, quote, he killed. And then he took this deep breath and said, he planned this nice picnic with his wife out there by the lake, and this guy just jumped out and hit him with something. He didn't know what. Knocked him out cold. Said he regained consciousness just in time to see the guy stomp on his wife's head, the same thing that we saw. He said when he finally could move, the guy was gone. He started walking, dazed, looking for his wife, and then he saw him dragging her into some shack. He knew she was dead, so decided to just run, but the guy heard and came after him, and he begged us to believe him, right? And Anna and I looked at each other. It sounded insane, but maybe? Anna asked about the blood on the window, and he said it was from his head. So he bent over and tried to show us. His hair was covered in fresh blood. He was still bleeding. And he pleaded us, to let him in, saying that we'd be safer together, 3 against 1. There was a moment of silence. And then he took a few steps back and lifted his shirt, turning around. He said we had a gun. He didn't. He just begged us to let him in, even if we held the gun on him the whole time. He just needed to get in. Probably another minute or so passed, and Anna just looked at me like she was asking what to do. Then the man yelled that he heard something and told us to hurry. I just nodded. Anna reached over and unlocked the back door. "Back seat," she yelled at him, "and I want to see your hands the whole time." So he slowly opened the door and slid in with his hands raised up. Anna turned on the dome light. It was completely dark outside. He said thank you and then told us to drive. Joke's on him, I guess, right? He just laughed, this short, creepy laugh. He said, "Perfect, perfect." I'm not sure what caused it, but I changed my mind, and I just told him to get out. He looked right at me and said, "Not a chance," and I yelled at him to get out. He yelled back for us to get out, and Anna was like, "Nobody's getting out." She told me he was fine and told him to keep his hands where we could see them. She said that we'd wait until morning and we could all walk out together, and he mumbled something about if we're all still alive. Anna said, "Nobody's going to die." He said he wouldn't be so sure, and I told him to shut up, that the other guy was out there and probably looking for us. I asked if there was a payphone nearby, and he said he didn't know. And for some reason, it just made me mad. I asked why he didn't know. He got sarcastic, and he said that he was just there for a picnic, not payphone patrol. And so we got in a little argument until Anna tried to calm everyone down, saying that, this is going to be a long night. Fighting won't solve anything. I tried to shut up, but like I said, when I'm nervous, I talk, and I just wanted to go home. I'm sure everyone did. We just sat in silence for a bit until something dawned on me. And I asked the guy where his car was. And he just said, "Huh?" I asked again where his car was, saying, "You didn't just teleport out here." And he shook his head and shrugged, saying, "Oh, it was out there somewhere." And I asked if he knew where. He said he knew where the car was, but not where he was. I asked if it had gas. He said, "Of course it has gas. What kind of an idiot would..." And then he stopped and said, "If we want to go look for it, be his guest." And I said, "Okay, maybe I would." Anna told me I wasn't going out there, that it was a dumb idea, and then told us that we're all safe right now, and if we just happen to be unsafe at any moment, then we'll make a new plan. But for right now, we should just relax. And so nobody said anything, and the tension was just awful. I just kept looking at him. I didn't trust him.
I don't blame you.
You know that moment you realize you might have made a horrible mistake, but that you just have to own it?
All too well.
Yeah, well, that's where I was. I noticed something else, and instead of just shutting up about it and playing dumb, I decided to, poke the hornet's nest a little. I asked him where his wedding ring was. He looked at me like I was an idiot and said, "Huh?" And I said again, "Your wedding ring. You said that you were out here with your wife, but I don't see a ring." He was quiet for a few seconds before saying, oh, he meant to say his fiancée, not his wife. He just didn't have a ring yet because there hadn't been a wedding yet."
Oh, very convenient.
That's what I thought too. And then he got all quiet and said, "Well, I guess there never will be a wedding now." I wasn't buying it, right? I just scooted further back and I was kind of pressing myself against the front dash. It was pretty quiet for about 20 minutes, and then I saw him pull something out of his pocket, real stealth-like. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I didn't like it. He laid it on the seat with his hand mostly covering it, and I was going to try and signal Anna, but then she started talking, asking him his name, finally. He said it was Paul. And then she asked what made them come out for a picnic today, and he said he didn't know she wanted to come. He said he would have been happy just watching the baseball game, but his fiancée called, saying she'd be there in 15 minutes, and they were going to do something fun and romantic, and so they hopped in his car, got some food, and came out there to eat and walk around, and then, well, you know. And so we just stared at him, and it was quiet again. Another half hour passed before he said, well, maybe we should look for his car. It had a full tank. If he found it, he could come back for us. Anna asked if he had any idea where it was. He said it was over there somewhere. He could probably make it. He said when we got to his car, he could honk the horn, and then we could activate our car alarm, and he would follow the noise. And it seemed like a decent plan if, we're to be trusted. And we agreed, like, what choice do we have? At least it got rid of him. And then he asked for our gun. And I was like, what? And he was like, give me your gun. If he was going out in the dark, he wanted a gun. But I told him, no way in hell. He's not leaving 2 girls alone and unarmed. He got real mad and asked if we wanted him to go or not. And I said, yeah, but no gun. I was damn firm on that. And he was mad, like real mad. He yelled at me to give it to him. And then Anna blurted out that we didn't even have a gun. She said it was a stun gun. And then he accused us of lying, and I shot back that, well, he'd done a little lying himself, and things got ugly. He denied it. I reminded him that his fiancée called him and said that she had something fun to do. But earlier, he said that he planned a picnic for the 2 of them. He just ran his hands through his hair, all frustrated. And then that's when he pulled a knife on us. And Anna was pissed, and she yelled, what the hell is that? And he was like, oh, okay, it's okay for you 2 to be armed, but not me. And it turned into a shouting match. We just wanted him to get out of the car, but now he wanted to stay. He told us to go, and it got ugly again. Then there was this noise on the hood of the car. Shut us up real fast. It was this cat, ugly thing. It was skinny and mangy. It looked dead. It was on the hood just staring at us. I saw Paul lean closer to us to get a better look at it, and I saw the opportunity, and I took it, and I reached back fast, trying to grab the knife from him. And we struggled, but he broke free. He unlocked the doors, and he got out, and then he yanked open my door and tried to pull me out. And he was yelling that, he wasn't going to stay locked up with these crazy women anymore. And he grabbed my hair and started to drag me out of the car, and then he pulled the knife out and pointed it right at me. Like, if I didn't cooperate, he would slit my throat. And Anna popped out and jumped on his back trying to take him down, right? And so there was this big struggle, and I swear, I don't know what was happening. We were all fighting, and then just everything goes silent. Except for this awful, gurgling sound. Paul had been stabbed right in the throat, and he just looked at us in complete disbelief, and then just died right there in front of us. And Anna went into a panic, but for some reason, I was completely calm. I tried telling her that we got him, we won, we're safe now, right? I hugged her, and I felt her body relax a little. We were both panting and out of breath, but relieved. It was him or us, right? Him or us. And we stayed locked in that hug for what felt like minutes before finally coming to our senses and getting back into the car. We just thought we would wait out the night and then get help in the morning. We had no other choice. So time passed and we both fell asleep. And then I woke up with this jolt. There was another noise. That damn cat thing was back looking at us from the hood of the car. So I honked the horn trying to scare it away, but it wouldn't budge. It just stayed there, staring at us with those dead eyes. We were both transfixed on it, like it was hypnotizing us. And then, I swear to you, Max, I swear on everything I love and hold dear, the window behind Anna smashed, and in a flash, she was pulled from the car and into the dead of night. She barely had time to scream. She was just gone. I saw it all. And I screamed louder than I ever even, knew I could. And then I opened my door and I ran in the opposite direction. And I figured if they went that way, I'm going the other way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I just left her, Max. I left my best friend, and the guilt has been eating at me ever since.
What happened to her?
She's never been found. The police said an animal took her. And they want me to believe that an animal smashed a window and dragged her out into the night.
Yeah, I've noticed animals are easy scapegoats.
Yeah, but I know what I saw. I only saw it for a split second, but I know what I saw. That same thing that girl from last week saw. I saw a man wearing a rib cage as a mask, and I saw him take my friend.
You were near Lake McLean.
Yes. We were. And nobody would believe me. I mean, the woman we saw get her face smashed, she conveniently disappeared. official story was that she was dragged away by the same animal that got Anna.
Unbelievable.
And with Paul, I wasn't charged with anything. In the official police report, he's a bad guy too, that got what he deserved, and if any harder questions were asked, I'm sure that Anna would get the blame, but I know that Paul was scared and panicked, just like we were, but for me to say anything else would be stupid, right? I mean, I got away scot-free. And everything was all wrapped up nicely with a little bow, but the guilt has just been killing me. The only person besides the police that I've told that story to was my parents and my sister, and she's the one that heard that story last week and told me that I had to call.
Chloe, I am meeting with the caller from last week next month, and I would love to meet with you as well if you're available.
I'm always available. I can't make myself go anywhere or do anything.
Then I'm going to be seeing you real soon. I'm going to transfer you over to my producer, Ricky, who's going to get some information from you. It sounds like Camp McLean is a real threat, and the man you saw needs to be stopped. Things are about to get very interesting in the 90s, I think. Chloe, don't go anywhere. I am fully invested in your story and your life, and let's unload some of that guilt, okay? Whew. Okay, what a day, what a day. I gotta tell you, when we were just broadcasting locally, we got a lot of calls dealing with things that were not quite as heavy. But since branching out, wow, there is a lot of weird stuff out there, guys. A lot. Okay, crew. We'll be right back.
The 1990 census is coming. The 1990 census is important to California. It affects our political representation and our state and local budgets. The 1990 census is easy. For most households, it only takes 15 minutes to answer the census. And the 1990 census is confidential. No one can see your census questionnaire but Census Bureau employees and you. Be a part of this once-in-a-decade chance for each of us to count for something. Answer the census, California. It counts for more than you think.
I've never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
There's so much kid stuff. And I can keep them for 3 evenings.
Now this is a video store.
Ordinary video stores don't even come close to Blockbuster Video. You've just got to see it to know what we mean.
Wow. What a difference. Blockbuster Video.
Come discover the Blockbuster difference.
We now return to The Witching Hour with Max Thorn.
Thanks for sticking through all that jibber jabber. It's been a hell of a night and the phone lines are jammed. Let's do it. Sarah in Stamford, Connecticut. Hey, Sarah, you are on the air with Max Thorn and The Witching Hour.
Hi, Max. Thanks for having me on. I've never shared this story before, but something about tonight feels right. Hearing that story of that poor girl losing her friend, that just broke my heart. So I figured I'd call.
We're glad you're here. Why don't you tell us what you got?
All right. So it started about 2 years ago. I lost my mom, Clara.
Oh, losing a mom's got to be rough. I'm really sorry.
She'd been sick for a while, cancer, and even though we knew it was coming, nothing really prepares you for that moment when they're just gone. I had to move back into my childhood home after she passed. It felt like there was no place else I could go, even though, well, I felt haunted in a way. Not by something evil, just memories. Every room seemed to echo her laugh or her voice.
Take your time.
I was going through her things one day in the attic, and I was trying to sort through her old stuff. Books, trinkets, pictures, trying to keep busy so I wouldn't break down, I guess. Anyway, I was taking a break down in the kitchen having a cup of coffee, and I heard the mailman. I grabbed the mail and took it back to the kitchen table to look at, while I finished my drink. And my heart about stopped. There was a letter addressed to me here at my mom's house, and I swear it was in my mom's handwriting.
Like a do not open until type thing?
Yeah, I thought of it, maybe, but how did it get delivered so long after she'd been gone? Like, honestly, I almost didn't open it, but then I figured I would never let it go if I didn't, so I guess there's no harm in opening it. So I opened it, and it was my mom's handwriting, all right. She wrote it like she was speaking directly to me. The letter talked about how she knew I was struggling, about how much I missed her, how I felt like I was drowning in grief, and how moving back home had amplified it a bit. She had no idea that I would lose my lease and have to move back here. And all that other stuff, I hadn't shared any of that with anyone, not even my closest friends, but it was like she could see right through me. She told me that it was okay to feel lost and that it wasn't wrong to take time to heal. She reminded me of all the little things we used to do together, like watching soap operas in the living room that she would record on the VCR for me while I was at school. And I could still carry those memories with me. She said I needed to keep going and not let my grief paralyze me.
That's incredible. So I suppose mothers have a way of knowing, don't they?
I couldn't make sense of it. I kept looking at the letter, trying to figure out some explanation, but there was no logical answer. And then things started happening. So, there's this busted old radio in the kitchen. It's like built into the cabinets, but it hasn't worked for years. Like, I know it hadn't because I tested it not too long ago and, nothing. But while I was sitting there staring at that letter still, Betty Davis' Eyes started playing on it by Kim Carnes.
Oh, that's such a great song.
It is, and it's also my mom's favorite song, the one she used to sing to when she was in the kitchen, even trying to imitate that gravelly voice she sings with. Unsuccessfully, usually, but that's why I loved it so much.
That is wild.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't all. I would smell her perfume, that Estee Lauder Beautiful she loved, just like a hint of it, like she just walked past on her way to another room. It wasn't strong, just enough to make me stop at my tracks and, listen, concentrate, like trying to imagine she was still there with me. The smell almost felt like a whisper, telling me it was all right. And it was like my mom had reached out from beyond the grave. And I know that sounds insane, but I'm starting to think maybe she really was looking out for me. That letter, those little signs, it was like she was trying to help me heal, even from, the other side. I started to feel less alone, like maybe she wasn't gone completely.
That's beautiful, but Sarah, you're kind of breaking my heart here, girl.
Yeah, it's definitely bittersweet. I still miss her every day, but after that letter, I started to let go of the pain a little. I began to understand that she wasn't really gone. Like, love like that doesn't just disappear because someone dies. She left me something more than just memories. She left me a way to keep moving forward, like a way to heal.
This is quite the story, Sarah. It's another one of those personal ones where even if the closed-minded people out in the wild don't believe you, it won't matter because it's bringing you peace, and their negativity can't take that away from you. So thank you for sharing it with us tonight. You've reminded us all that love can transcend even the hardest of goodbyes.
No, I thank you for letting me tell it. I haven't told anybody. I didn't think anybody would believe me. But I hope it helps someone who's going through loss, especially that little girl earlier tonight. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Sarah. That was a great story. Oh, man. What a night. What a night. Well, that's it for this week's edition of The Witching Hour. It was a wild one. Join us next week, where I will investigate a new burger joint that is a little more than it may seem. Also, next week's show will be the last one before the very last Halloween of the 1980s. That's right, this is it. After next week's show, our next Halloween show will be in the 90s. The 90s. Can you believe it? I, for one, am very excited. All right, we're for reals out of time now. This is Max Thorn signing off. Talk to y'all next week.
Kmart presents the portrait package Moms asked for. You said,
I want more big portraits.
so we give you 3 8x10s, 4 5x7s, and a big 10x13. You also wanted
Lots of portraits.
So you also get 20 wallets, 15 mini portraits, and 12 all-occasion caption portraits. That's everything you want plus something you need, a free portrait ID card. So hurry and get Kmart's biggest portrait offer ever, 55 portraits.
Including more big portraits.
All for only $14.95.